Fellow Phasmo friends, welcome in. I'm a noob no more. You can call me Noob, and we're doing a Noob's Guide to Phasmo. We're going to go to 2 to Tanglewood, and what I'm going to show you is the tips and techniques that you can use to get better at the game. And what these are some rules and guides on how to easily get the 3 bits of evidence that you need to identify the ghost. So if you're new to the game, if you're wanting to learn how to play solo, thank you, Aussie Vic, then this is going to be a really good guide to help you out. Now, my tip number 1 is don't just grab items and run into the house. There's a whole bunch of information and things that you can do prior to grabbing the items that's going to help you on your way. First thing is you want to see your setup timer. If you're starting out at amateur, you get 5 minutes to set up before the ghost can hunt you. I'm playing professional, so there's no setup time. If you come this way, you can see the objectives. Now, of course, you can see the objectives by going into your journal and clicking on Overview. But it is useful just to have a side of them. Crucifix, parabolic microphone, and I've got to get my sanity down below 25%. I then come here. I like to know where the breaker is. For reasons that's going to become really obvious in a moment, the breaker is down in the garage. So we'll see why that's important. Sanity is up at 100% when you start on professional, of course. Open up the door so you don't have to wait later. And one of the reasons I like coming around this way, this is one of the key reasons, if not the key reason, to walk around the truck this way and come to your items last, it's so you don't forget your lighter. How many times have you grabbed your smudge and gone to use it only to find that you didn't bring your lighter and you die a horrible, painful death? This is my way of making sure I don't forget the lighter. Also, I also sometimes forget my headlamp, which is really good for tier 2 headlamp and above. Tier 1 headlamp is not particularly useful, but for tier 2 headlamp it is. You've got another light source. So I don't have to worry about bringing in something like the video camera as a light source. I've got a light source in my head. So I can now just think about what equipment is the best to bring into the house. Well, on this first trip into the house, there's a few things that you want to do. I want to turn the lights on, so you want to be able to see your way to the breaker, and I want to find the ghost room. What's the best way of finding the ghost room? Well, the EMF reader's a really good way of finding out the general area where the ghost is. Now, ghosts can roam from their favourite room. Ghosts can interact with things in surrounding rooms. So the EMF reader just gives you a general guide really around where the ghost is about. The best piece of equipment for finding the ghost room is the thermometer, guys. It is the single best piece of equipment for finding the ghost room. Why? Every single ghost will cool down the room that it's in, and it's in its favourite room the most. So the thermometer will tell you for every ghost where the ghost room is. Something like the video camera, which is great. It has a light source or an ability to see in the dark with its night vision. And of course, if you do see orbs, then you know that's the ghost room as well. It is quite reliable. But only 11 of the 24 ghosts, so a little under half, will actually have ghost orbs. I'd prefer to take something that shows me where all the ghosts are in terms of their favourite room, not around half. So that's why I like this. The photo camera I really love having on the first trip into the house, particularly when you're playing solo. I don't want to have to remember where the bone is later to get a picture of it. And you'll just see I'll pick up the key there. I'll come back to that in a sec. But yeah, I don't want to have to remember where the bone is or the cursed item or anything like that. I want to be able to just take a photo of it straight away and pick it up or use it or move it or something like that. I don't want to have to try and find the bone later when the ghost may be hunting you. That's a big no-no in my book. So I'd much rather be able to pick up the bone straight away. All right. So we're in the light now, guys. I've turned the breaker on. You can see it's actually my number 1 priority. Because if I've got no other tip that I can get you to remember on your Phasmo journey, it is stay in the light. Your sanity is your countdown timer to when you get hunted. The quickest way to get your sanity drawn down is to stay in the dark. So stay in the light, keep your sanity high, so your sands in the hourglass don't dwindle away to the point where the ghost can hunt you. I'm all about keeping your sanity sky high so that the ghost can't hunt you, to give you heaps of time to get the evidence that you need to identify the ghost. But once you've turned the light on, you can take your time and have a look around without your sanity going down. There's a heap of other things that you're looking for. The number 1 priority after turning on the lights is finding the ghost room. That's the most important thing. And the reason for that is, of course, that you want to know where to put your equipment. Did you guys see the spoon? Did you guys see the spoon fling over here? Let's have a look at the EMF reading. And there's a plate there. There's an EMF 5 reading. Okay, that's good to know. But I want to be in the light. Okay. All right. the reason you want to know where the ghost room is because that's where your equipment goes, right? So again, let's have a look. Let's confirm it based on what I said before. Let's confirm that this is the ghost room. It's 5.5 degrees in here. If I step into the kitchen, it's 10. And if I step out in the living room, it's 11. So that automatically tells me that this is the ghost room. Cool. So we've actually completed the number 1 objective. Of course, my number 2 objective is making sure the potato of protection is out and giving us a helping hand. Usually makes a sound. There it is. So we've got pop out, potato of protection. So what else do you want to do on this first trip in the house? Well, you want to find hiding spots. There was one down in the basement that we saw in the corner there. I'm also, as I said, I'm looking for the bone. I want to take a photo and pick that up when my sanity is high. I don't want to leave it till the end when my sanity is low. Okay, there's no hiding spot in here. Hey, there we go. I found it when my sanity was high. That's awesome. All right, and we're looking for some other hiding spots. Now, there's actually a couple of natural hiding spots in this particular map. One of them is, in fact, here. That can be a good spot. It's not perfect. Sometimes the ghost will come around here. Obviously, it's not very good when this is the ghost room and you just saw my breath. That's another good indication that this is, in fact, the ghost room. It means that the room's going to be colder than 5 degrees, basically. There we go. Cool. Okay. So we've got that. So that's one natural hiding spot. There is another good natural hiding spot. I'm just going to open this door as a bit of a Uri test. We'll come back to why that could be useful later. But I'm going to still look for some other hiding spots, and I'm going to light the way to these hiding spots as well. So this is a really good hiding spot. It's kind of tucked away. The ghost very rarely comes here. This is a really good hiding spot. When that isn't available, this is also a pretty good hiding spot, but again, it's not 100%. So that's a bit of an unofficial hiding spot. But we've got everything that we wanted. We got the keys, but more importantly, we turned the light on to keep our sanity high. We found the ghost room. We found the bone. Oh, you know what we didn't find? I didn't find the cursed item, guys. I didn't find the cursed item. So I'm going to go back in because I want to take a photo of the cursed item, and I can see the cursed item over there. All right, so there you can see this little checklist actually comes in handy. So I'm looking for the ghost room is the most important, as I said, after turning the lights on. I'm looking for the bone, the cursed item, which is the tarot cards. We might play with those a little bit later. We'll have some fun, but we'll leave those for now, and I'll explain why in a sec. Yeah, we've got the key from the front door in case the car alarm goes off, and we know where we're going to hide. There's a hiding spot down in the basement, and there's a hiding spot here in the nursery. Cool. That's a huge checklist, I know. If you want to keep it simple, just stay in the light and find the ghost room. The rest of it kind of takes care of itself. Do you know there's a picture of Hitler in this house? Yes, I have seen that. All right. Now, if you need no greater confirmation about why I say stay in the light, have a look at my sanity. I've done one trip into the house, guys, and that one trip into the house has hardly dented my sanity at all. And that's because I turned the breaker on and stayed in the light. So you can see how important it is to stay in the light. Now we've done that first trip. What's stage number 2? Well, stage number 2 is to get these 3 bits of evidence that we're looking for. And we were pretty lucky. We actually got one straight off the bat from the first trip into the house because I was taking the EMF reader. That's just lucky. Sometimes the EMF 5 doesn't come until later, and sometimes it's not even an EMF 5 evidence ghost. But we've already got one bit of evidence. We've got to get the other 2 now. So we're just going to bring in the other items of evidence. Some people might stress about the order. I don't think it really matters. I'm just pretty much going to rush in there, take a quick look, and then come back out and get the other things. But you can see we're in this second phase of the game now. We've gone through the house on the first instance and found the ghost room, and now we're bringing in the evidence gathering items to see what we can see. Alright, can't see any orbs in this room, just in case. I always like to do a bit of a 360. Sometimes the orbs are behind you. Alright, I can still see my breath in that room, so I'm just going to dump the video camera there. While I've got the light off for that, you have to have the light off for the spirit box. Are you here? Are you friendly? Where are you? How old are you? Where are you? Why can't you understand my Australian accent? Can I ask a question? Are you here? Are you near? Can you hear me? Where are you? How old are you? God, it's really not liking me today. Are you here? Are you friendly? Where are you? Now, unfortunately, that's not conclusive proof that it's not a spirit box ghost. It might have roamed outside the room, and you need to be within a certain distance of the ghost in the dark, and sometimes you need to be on your own as well in order to get that response. We haven't got that yet. What else are we looking for? UV. We'll have a look. Do we see any UV anywhere? Now, unfortunately, this room doesn't have any doors, but some of the surrounding doors are around here. So, but I can't see anything at the moment, so I'm just going to leave that maybe there, just to see it shines on there. And then every time you come into the house, when you're into the ghost room, just have a look to see if you've got freezing temps. And we do have freezing temps, guys. All right, so we've got a Jinn, a Shade, an Oni, or the twins. All very interesting ghosts. But we've got freezing temps. We know we've already got EMF 5. I think I know what the ghost is already. You might too, based on its behaviours. But this guide is all about finding the evidence. It's not about the behaviours. It's really for when you're new to Phasmo. I just heard something after I left. But yeah, I think it's a ghost. Don't hold me to it though. Hi Alex, welcome in. I won't hold you to it. But yeah, so we got, did we get any evidence there? We got freezing temps. So it wasn't the items that we brought in. It was actually the items that we brought in the previous time. But now I'm just going to go in and bring the rest of the items, and we'll see how we go. Alright, so we're still in this second phase, guys. We're just bringing in the evidence items. We're staying in the light. The ghost turned the light off, but I don't want to let it do that. The ghosts love the dark. I'll muck that up. I'll come back for it. I'll just put that one there. Sometimes when you put video cameras and things down, it can clip through. Okay, cool. We've got a pretty good, that's a pretty good covering for the room. Let's just turn the light off. I'm still in the room with the light on though, so that's okay. But that's a pretty good dots coverage, isn't it, guys? That's pretty good. All right. And I'm going to put, so you can see I put that on. I'm going to put the ghost writing book down. And I'm going to give you guys a hint. I think we're going to get ghost writing. Still freezing temps. Why am I checking that? I want to know that the ghost is still here. All right? I want to know that the ghost is still here. Looking at the temperature again, if it's the most accurate way of working out where the ghost room is, it's also one of the easiest ways of working out if the ghost has moved rooms. All right, I'm going to pick up the camera. No, I'm going to let it go. So again, nothing's happened, right? Nothing's happened there. So we got a reading when we just stepped out of the room. That's interesting. All right, but we're going to come back. All right, so we're going to leave the room. We're going to come back. I'm going to go get some other items. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an extra thing here. I'm still just thinking evidence, okay? I'm still just thinking evidence. So I'm going to bring in some items that help me work out what the ghost is, particularly given, have a look at this. I've made 3 trips into the house. My sanity is still at 90%. So almost no matter what the ghost is, there's only one or two exceptions of ghosts that can hunt at this sanity. So in fact, I can think of 3 now. But nonetheless, there's only a few ghosts that can attack you when your sanity is this high. I don't need to think about crucifixes or smudges just yet. All right, so let's have a look. Now, again, we can also see. Let's look to see. I can't see dots. Can't see the writing book being lifted up to be written in. And I can't see dots with the light on, so we'll go back in. All right, one really good way of getting UV is to put salt down, and then when the ghost steps through the salt, you can actually use that to detect UV. The other way to get EMF 5, which of course we've already got, so I don't really need this, is if you put a candle down or the ghost writing book next to it, when it interacts with it, you'll get an EMF 5. So I might just bring that in for educational purposes. And then in this case, I'm not really worried about getting hunted. None of these 4 ghosts can hunt at above 60%, I believe. And in fact, I think they're all 50% ghosts now that I think about it. So I'm really safe. But again, you might not know this, but again, when your sanity's this high, you just don't have to really stress too much about it. I do need to bring in a parabolic microphone because that's one of the tests. But again, one of the objectives. But for the time being, I'm just going to focus on evidence, guys. So I want to show you something. Okay, so it's turned the breaker off. So we know it's not a Jinn, by the way. But again, I'm not going to go off anything on behaviours on this one. Yeah, just so you guys know, if it turns off the breaker, it can't be your gin, which is actually helpful here. But I'm going to assume that nobody knows anything. Oh, look, what a surprise. Yeah, it wrote in the book and gave EMF 5. Do I get interaction for that? Because I think this might have just happened. No, I only get ghostwriting. So again, the ghostwriting books actually show you if it's in fact an EMF 5 ghost, if it writes in the book. The other thing that tells you if it's an EMF 5 ghost is when it blows out the candles. And what was the other thing I brought down? Well, I don't really need this now, guys, because we've got the third bit of evidence. We know what it is, and it is indeed a shade, if anybody was thinking that. So what I'm going to do is put down some salt, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the best place to put this now. I'm just going to put it there. Okay, because I'm going to use that for photos more later. Because we've got the 3 bits of evidence now, I know it's not UV. So with that in mind, there's no point testing for it. But as soon as it steps through the salt, there's usually a 100% chance of it leaving UV footprints if it's a UV evidence ghost and it's not an abarque. An abarque is a UV evidence ghost, but it has a 25% chance of not leaving behind footprints. So anyway, we know this is not a UV ghost, so I'm not going to bother showing you. All right, now, how do we know it's a shade? What was giving it away to me earlier that it was a shade? It's because whenever we were in the room, nothing happened. And then whenever we were out of the room, something happened. And you can see that my little EMF 5 test doesn't always give EMF 5, by the way. Let's see, do I still get the interaction photo? Sure do. All right, so I'm in the room, nothing happens. Oh, we also want to maybe put down that. Cool. All right, so I'm going to grab EMF 5. I'm going to walk out of the room again. So as soon as I walk out of the room, I'm in the kitchen now. I'm not in the dining area. There we go. EMF 2 again. Because it's actually really hard to get EMF 5 from a shade sometimes because you can't be in the room. So I'm just going to show you that you can use the candle to get an EMF 5 reading. It's probably a real useful one. Hello, Faceless. Welcome in. I think you're thinking about a Yuri. A Yuri can close the front door without hunting. It's the only ghost that can impact the front door. Welcome in, by the way, brother. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay, that's me stepping in there. Oh, I just heard a door. Oh, and he just stepped through the salt. So he's kind of gone walkabout. We might not get the EMF 5 that we were hoping for. Let me just make sure that I don't have a photo objective, which I don't. So I'm just going to take some photos. It's useful to get into the habit of checking your photos. Sometimes you get a stinky 2-star disturbed salt photo, which is not ideal. Okay. Hey Noob, just popping in to say hey. Hi Scrantle. Hope you have a good Friday. So I'm just trying to show here that you can get an EMF 5 reading when you're outside the room from a shade, when it blows out the candle, but I think it's actually not in the room at the moment. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm actually going to go and get some more stuff from the truck. All right, so we're going to bring in a crucifix just to protect ourselves. Shades cannot hunt until my sanity's down at 35%. So if you're applying my rules, we're going to be waiting a while. So I'm going to go and play with the tarot cards to speed it up, of course. But yeah, a shade cannot hunt until 35%. That's another one of its characteristics. I'm currently cowering in a bathroom waiting for this thing to hunt. I love it. I hope you're in a good hiding spot, Faceless. Because I'll also, now that I'm at this point of the game, if you can't get the third bit of evidence that's really annoying you, there is a third phase of the game. So the second phase is getting the evidence before you can get hunted. Right? The third phase is getting hunted to get more information. Right? So if you're in this third phase where you're getting hunted, what you actually want to do is you want to actually think about the 3 ways that you can hunt. So one is you start and finish in a hiding spot and you just listen to the footstep speed, for example. There we go. Another EMF 2. The second way that you can hunt is you start outside, wait for it to come to you, so you actually get to see it, you get to see if it speeds up with line of sight, you get more information than footstep speed, and then you smudge it, and then you go to your hiding spot. That's the second type of hunt that you can do that's slightly more dangerous than the first. And then the third phase is where you can just loop it with or without smudging it, and there's no need for a hiding spot. They're the three ways that you can use that getting hunted phase to get more information about the ghost. If you were here earlier for the no sanity warm-up, obviously you go straight into phase 3. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. You go straight into phase 3. Now, I think this might be the longest time that I've had a shade blow out candles and not give me an EMF 5. They usually do it on maybe the second or the third hunt. We've had 3 EMF 2s so far. But as I said, I'm trying to milk an EMF 5 from it. At the same time, I'm going to put this down here. At the same time, I need to get a parabolic reading. So we're going to just do that now. We kind of want to confirm that the ghost is still here though. So I want to see it interact with something. I'm still controlling my sanity by staying in the light, by the way. Control your sanity, stay in the light, give you heaps of time. Like, see how much time I've spent to talk to you guys. And it's because I'm allowing that by staying in the light and keeping my sanity high. Hey, Moncrab, welcome in. Good to have you here. We're just doing a Noob's Guide to Phasmo, and we've got ourselves a shade. So we know that it can't hunt until 35% sanity. There we go. There's the whisper. Thank you. So the paranormal objective is now ticked. You can just see that. So if you're trying to milk an EMF 5 reading, candles are really good, and Ghost Writing Book is really good. And let's just bring in another another crucifix to protect ourselves. Even though, just a quick check, as I said, by keeping all the lights on, have a look at where my sanity is. How long have I been inside, guys? And my sanity is still 88%. Remember, this is your countdown timer to getting hunted. The lower this goes, the more likely it is the ghost can hunt. In this case, the shade can't hunt until my sanity is down to 35%. So we've got a long way to go. So you can see why, even if this ghost was being super stubborn like it is about giving me a second EMF 5 reading, admittedly, we've still giving ourselves heaps of time. Oh, there's another hiding spot there if we want it. Good to know. We're giving ourselves heaps of time in order to work out what the ghost is. Now, I wonder if the ghost has changed rooms. Let's check the temperatures. No, it's still freezing here. All right, so let's put the book down, and let's just put the EMF reader in the middle. Now, you want to make sure that you're out of the room. So I am now out of the room that the shade is in. And you just have to be a bit careful. There's a few things about shades that can be tricky. So one is that they won't interact with things when you're in the room. They won't hunt with you if you're both in the room. They won't event when you're both in the room. But there's one really tricky part about phasmophobia that gets everyone tripped up about whether or not there's a shade. And that is whether or not the ghost is in the room or not. So I actually think having this here is going to really help me. It's going to tell me if the ghost is in the room or not. Okay, we'll see if the ghost... Ooh, does that mean the ghost is just right there? That might... okay, the ghost is right there. Cool. So we know the ghost has either just walked in or out of the room. I didn't quite see what order the motion sensor went in. But motion sensors are great if you're trying to monitor if a shade is in the room. So if you're doing no evidence tests for a shade, having the motion sensor there is super useful for working out if it's gone out of the room. Because what a lot of people will do as a shade test, they'll go into the room that's the shade's favourite room and just sit there. And if there's something gets interacted with in the room, they'll rule out the shade. The problem is that the shade can move out of the room and then go back in and interact with something in a surrounding room and interact with something with the room that you're in. And you might go, oh no, it's not a shade, incorrectly. So that's what we want to make sure that we avoid. And the motion sensor is a great way of trying to keep tabs of it. You can also turn the light off in the room. That can make the ghost more active. So let's do that. So there is a price to staying in the light, both in the ghost room, and that is by leaving the light on in the ghost room, you can make some ghosts less active. I just heard a door, which makes me think the ghost might not be... Oh, there it is. Oh no, that was the... It's only minus 1.3 now. Yeah, this ghost may have changed rooms, guys. Look at the temperature. Ruh-roh. And just like that, we're getting almost into another realm here. All right, so now let's find out what the room is. 21.6. I heard a door close, guys. And look at this. This room is now freezing. It's below 1 degree. That classifies as freezing in this game. I could sit here until the ghost left the room and then interacted with something in the room, just to highlight that you do need to be careful about it. I'm hoping you'll get the idea without me having to do it. Or, if it blows this stuff out or writes in the book now, that would be awesome. Because it's just walked out. It hasn't quite walked out of the room necessarily, but it's on its way. It's doing some kind of roam. So let's see if it interacts with something in this room when I'm in the room. We did it! And it gave us an EMF 5 as well. So we got a bit of a trifecta here, guys. What we actually got was a shade. We're in the shade room, and we saw the shade leave, and it interacted with something in the room. This is really rare. It's something that makes people think that they're doing on no evidence runs, that you're not dealing with a shade. You need to have motion sensors up to know that the ghost is now actually coming back into the room. That's awesome. We just need to get one more photo, guys. Then we're out of here. But that was really good. That is really rare. We saw the shade leave the room, and then we were able to detect both an EMF 5 reading off the candle blowout, and it blew out the candle when we were in the ghost room. So just to confirm that we're in the ghost room, -2 degrees, guys. This is still the ghost room. All right, we've still got to get a couple of objectives done. We've got to prevent it from hunting with a crucifix, and I've got to get my sanity below 25%. Now's a good time to have some fun. And we've gone through everything that you need to know about the shade. You know the 3 bits of evidence now that give you the shade. You know it doesn't interact when you're both in the same room, but it can still interact with something in the ghost room when you're in it if it wanders out. Super important to know. It doesn't hunt till 35% sanity, and is more likely to do shadow events and shadow summoning circle events. All right, that's the shade. Let's have some fun. Hangman, the devil. That's a ghost event. We've got the Noni ghost event, the ghost hiss. All right, that's cool. All right, we don't want the hangman. The hangman ruins my YouTube video. Let's see how we go. The tower increases activity. We haven't really got a lot for the ghost to interact with over there. But anyway. My eyes! All right, let's have another look. Yeah, I've got a smudge on me just in case I need it. Okay, cool. Let's get going. More activity. I didn't hear anything. I did not hear anything. That just makes it more active. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay, all my sanity's gone. I now get this interaction. Average sanity below 25%. And the ghost hasn't started hunting yet because the shade's being a shade. They're very inactive. Let's see. Oh, was it the full? Did I get the full, did I? Okay, let's keep going. Wheel of Fortune. Now, there we go. I got the full that time. Is the ghost hunting? If the ghost is hunting, which means you wouldn't be able to flick the lights on and off, that actually means that all your cards will come up the full. So that's why I got the full card. I wanted to check that it wasn't hunting. The devil, get another ghost event. We get another shadowy type ghost event. We get the air hiss again. Let's keep going. Am I going to get my hangman card, or will I get the coin? No, what is it? The coin that gives me the oh no, we got the tower. That gives me a life back. The tower. I still don't hear a lot. The shade is being quite quiet. It's hunting. Okay, so all the cards would be full cards at the moment. Where is it? Alright, now it doesn't really have any redeeming features when it hunts. It's just got normal speed, normal line of sight, pick up if it ever sees me. And yeah, normal blinks, normal throws. It is probably the most boring ghost in the game. Okay, cool. And I'm going to start my timer there. We would normally have 25 seconds to the next hunt. Let's speed it up a little bit, shall we? The Hermit. Okay, it's now stuck in its room, in its favourite room. So now the ghost is in that area right in front of us. The Devil. Another ghost event. another Oni ghost event. So you can see we're not getting many of those full-bodied ghost events, and that's because it's a shade. It's a bit shy. Well, that wasn't the most exciting set of cards. But I think we got everything we needed to, did we not? Oh no, the ghost, we've got to prevent the ghost from hunting with a crucifix. Did the ghost go downstairs, by the way? The ghost might have changed ghost rooms to downstairs, guys. So we need to do a little bit more work here. We've got to get it to burn a crucifix. That's a bit difficult to do when it's in the middle of a hunt. But let's just keep looping it here. So you can see the beautiful granny in all of its glory. Okay, I'm going to smudge it. I zigged when I should have zagged. Okay, now I can turn this light off and it should start to lose me. I love how I'm leaning up as if that helps me look over the bench on a two-dimensional screen. Oh, nice try, Gamble. You're going to have to do better than that, sir. Okay, and then the lights go off and that's the end of the hunt. So, we still haven't prevented this ghost from hunting with a crucifix. So, that's because the ghost has changed rooms. The shade's down here. You can see there's been a bit of action down here. So, I'm going to bring the crucifix down here. I'm going to, in fact, bring both crucifixes down here just to make it a little bit quicker. Well, we've just got that one objective to go, guys. And, like, again, if you wanted to check that the ghost has moved rooms, yeah, you can see that this room has gone positive again. So one of the things that Shades have been able to do a bit more frequency recently, not that I've been playing the game for a super long time, I feel like Shades change rooms a bit more often these days. I just heard it interact with the breaker. No, it didn't turn it off, but it just interacted with the door. All right, now we haven't had to use... Sorry, we've had to use our smudge, but that's okay. We just need it to interfere with the crucifix, and then we can get out of here. Now, it could actually roam out of the room and make another favourite room change, and even if it doesn't do that, it could just roam out of the room and hunt me. So this is a little bit dangerous. I don't have a crucifix, and I don't have a smudge. But one of the things that you can do, apart from chat trying to troll me, is whenever you see the lights go off, you can that tells you that a crucifix has been burned, or you could just go and have a look at the objectives. That's another way of working out whether or not the ghost has actually hunted with a crucifix, particularly if you've got that objective. Otherwise, we're out of here, and it turned off the breaker as well. Nice. Okay, so we did everything that we wanted to, guys. We found the 3 bits of evidence that identified it as a shade really quickly. We went through all the shade's abilities, and then we trolled it to see what it could do, so you know what to look for in the low and no evidence forms of the game. Like I always say, check your homework before you hand it in to the teacher. We've done all the objectives there. You can see the ticks. We've got 10 3-star photos, including the bone. Including the bone. This is why I like taking the camera and finding the bone on the first trip. It's just a good reminder that I've actually picked it up. And in terms of the evidence, we indeed know it's a shade. Let's go and check out how much money we made from this professional run. It should be a perfect investigation bonus. Let's see if I was able to do it. And it was, of course, the shade. And we did get a perfect investigation bonus. And if you hit the skip button, that allows you to go through this a lot more quickly as well. We get $1,280, which is pretty awesome. So hopefully you got something out of this. Thank you very much for the follow, Spectral Soda. If you did get something out of this, please drop a like and a subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now, fellow noobs. Peace out.